Do you like films with elements of romance in them?
Generally, I do. Yes. If there's a film at the cinema and the trailer for it says that there's going to be some romance, my ears prick up. I just think it's a nice, happy, get a feel-good factor from watching a romance film. Usually, as long as there's a happy ending.
Do you think one of the main reasons that you like romance films or films with elements of romance is that you find them relatable?
What it is with romance, most people have been in love or thought they've been in love, so you can relate to them more generally, and you can. There's always a bit of hope because you think, oh, I bet he'll be with her or he'll be with him, that sort of thing. So they say it's the feel-good thing, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Do you like films with elements of romance in them?
Yeah, but it has to be a film that's based on romance.
Okay.
Like, it has to develop it. If it's like an action film and they just have a random love plot on it, I don't think it's very good. It's got to be fully developed.
Okay, so you want lots of romance in it?
Well, not lots, not like over the top, like lovey-dovey, but it's got to be like quite meaningful and stuff.
Do you like films with elements of romance in them?
Yeah, I do. I think to a certain extent, though, I don't like films that are really, really cheesy or have too much. I like them when they usually have a romantic subplot or something.
Yeah.
Because if it's I'm quite sort of guyish when it comes to genres of films, and I quite like things like comedy and that have romantic subplot.
Yeah.
So I don't like it when they're like really gooey, but they can be romantic, but they have to have something else in them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't like it when it's all just
Okay, yeah, cool.
emotions.
Do you like films about adventure, say, about somebody going on a gap year or somebody deciding to go and do something just because they can?
It depends who's in the film really, and what sort of adventure it is.
Would you say you
It depends how
prefer?
many characters are in it.
Yeah.
Because personally, I don't like films or books with loads of characters, because I just find that confusing, because you have to remember all the names and I think it just depends on what sort of film it is really.
Do you like films about adventure, say somebody going on a gap year and exploring themselves, finding who they are, that type of things?
Yeah, I do. I think it's nice because then it helps you develops. You can see how people develop as people really and get character.
Would you say that you find it relatable?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about having a kind of adventure film with elements of romance in it? Do you think that would work well, or do you think not so much?
In the if you're doing say like you said, like a gap year, something like that, or going somewhere different, then yeah. If it was like going to a poor country or something like that, somewhere out of the way.
Yeah. Do you like films about adventure, say somebody going on a gap year and discovering who they are and that type of idea?
Yeah, I definitely like adventures. Like I was saying, I like things that have extras.
Yeah.
No, I think I do like films where people sort of like discover who they
Yeah.
are. And stuff.
Do you enjoy watching films if they're in first person? So say the person woke up and on the screen you kind of, as if you were them and you saw the eyes blinking, or would you find it good if it was just a little bit of it?
I think a little bit, yeah. In a short film, yeah.
Okay.
In a longer film, I think it's better just to have it from third person because it gives better narrative.
Yeah. Do you enjoy watching films if it's in first person? So they wake up and you are them, so to speak.
What, and then you see like
As if you see from their eyes.
Well, I don't think I've actually seen a film like that, so I think it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Do you think it would be better just to do a few sections of that rather than the whole
I
film?
think a few sections.
Yeah.
Because I think it might be a bit. I mean, it's good because it's unique and it's original. But I think it might be because of that. It's so original. It might be a bit off-putting.
Yeah.
I think that have elements of it, and then it'll be fun.
Okay, cool. You like the idea of having love from a young age, or would you prefer a film if they fell in love, say, when they're in their 20s?
I think it's a good idea, but I think being realistic, people have love from a young age, and then they probably meet somebody else in the middle, and then they might meet up again later. So
Yeah.
it's a very romantic idea, having love from a very young age, but realistically, it's probably not that common.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so my justification for asking some of these questions was that I didn't feel that I needed to ask loads and loads of questions to the people who I was interviewing, as I did that for when I did my questionnaires. So I felt if I just pick a few of questions that I can get really in-depth answers from the people I interviewed, I felt that'd be more effective. So the first question I asked people was, do you like films with elements of romance? And the reason why I asked this was because I wanted to understand if my target audience did want to see romance within my short film, and to get a real grasp of why they like it, and so that I can put elements that they like. So as my first lady said, she said that she'd like, if she heard it in the trailer that a film had romance in it, she'd be more drawn to that type of film. And other people said how they didn't want too much of it. They didn't want everything to be based around the romance. So in my film I try and put bits of romance in, but that won't be the main sub thing for in the film. It'll be just a little side bit. So the thing won't just be about romance, because I think that's a bit cliche, and you see a lot of films which students make which they just go on about, oh, they fell in love and all this sort of stuff. It gets a bit cheesy after a while. So if I can manage to put little bits of it in, I think it will be relatable for my target audience, and they'll be able to connect with the characters a lot more. The second question I asked was, do you like films about adventure? So when I say adventure, I mean either going on an actual adventure, like climbing up a mountain, or, you know, that type of thing, going on a walk or something, or this more spiritual adventure, so spiritual adventure of somebody's life. I got mixed opinions on this. Some people want a bit more action within the film, and so I think there's a couple of techniques that I can use to put this action across, such as I'll post a few YouTube clips within this link that will show that type of action that I want to be able to use. There's a few from Sherlock Holmes where they do running scenes where they'll go in normal speed and then slow motion, and then I think that really gets the adventure across. But I also want to put the spiritual adventure in, because one of the people I interviewed said how she likes being able to understand the character's story, and so you need a bit of spiritual and stuff about destiny, as my film's going to be about fate. That will really come across well, I hope. The next thing I asked was, do you enjoy watching films if they're in first person? I think this is quite a different concept. I don't know of any films as such that do it all in first person. So I know that a few TV programmes have done it before, and as my film's going to be quite short, I'll be able to use ideas from TV programmes. Like they do it quite a few times in The Simpsons, where you wake up and you are Homer, like you see his eyes blink, and I want to try and do something like that, but not for the whole film, because people say it might get a bit confusing for the whole film. The last question, I only asked this for one person, because it's just kind of an add-on on the end, but I thought it was quite interesting. I said, would you rather have somebody love from a young age or fall in love when they are older? So it's like if they're in primary school or whatever and they've been friends for ages and then they end up getting married, but it doesn't really tend to happen, so I think I'm not going to do that because it's not very realistic. So I maybe have the elements of romance, I have them fall in love at an older age, so that it'll be more relatable to the audience. So that's my justifications for why I asked all the questions in my interview.